Hello everyone, welcome back to my astrology channel. Now in today's video I will be talking about the full moon that's occurring the sign of Sagittarius on the 26th of May. It occurs roughly about 5 degrees Sagittarius. Now during the full moon the sun is opposite in the opposite signs. So during this Sagittarius full moon we have sun in the sign of Gemini. Now this Sagittarius full moon is eclipsed. Now this, because it's a full moon, it's called a lunar eclipse. So an eclipse occurs when the north node and the south node of the moon comes close to the full moon or the new moon. So the lunar eclipse causes the full moon to be completely shadowed by the Earth's shadow. So you have Earth in the middle and the sun and the moon is opposite it. So the shadow of the Earth is completely blocking the moon's illumination. So you will see the moon as a bright red moon, because it's called a super full moon, a blood moon as well. So you will see the full moon, but it will be reddish in color rather than the white illuminated color that you usually see in a full moon. Now this full moon is also quite a massive super moon, so you will see it a little bit bigger than usually the size of the full moon because it's much closer to the Earth. Now full moon is a time when everything is illuminated, so things are much more clearer and your understanding of things is much more clearer. So it's also a time of fruition and culmination. So if there's anything that you were working on or anything that you were planning, this is a time when it's kind of takes you to that end result and you can see the fruit of your work, the rewards that rewards of your effort. So you can expect all these things during a full moon, but this full moon is eclipsed. So what will happen is what you see may not be as it seems. So it may have, because the eclipse has a kind of a mysterious aspect to it. It's things are hidden. So what you see or what your understanding of things is may not be completely the full picture. So you need to dig deeper in your own emotional makeup and your feelings and bring it out from within. So just don't accept things as it may seem externally. It's a time to look within and see how do you understand the circumstances? What is your understanding of things, not just by external pressure? And so you need to really look within for answers rather than externally. Now moon is a feminine energy, so it's also time during a full moon and a lunar eclipse especially, it's a time to really be kind to yourself, to really prioritize your own emotional needs and emotional requirements that you have. Assert your own emotional needs first before you accommodate anything externally. So look at your circumstances and environment. What is it telling you? What do you feel from within? And that's the information you should use in order to make any decision and to go forward. So don't feel influenced or pressurized by people externally who may be asking you to make a decision fast or give in to a situation when you yourself from within don't feel comfortable. So it's very important to really look within. What is your inner needs and what is your emotional self feelings? What is it telling you? And that's how you should go forward, take your life forward during this time. Lunar eclipse is a very tender and delicate time. So along with taking care of your own emotional needs, also, reach out to people who might need your support in your relationship, in family, or in friend circle, or, children, or anybody, in parents, anybody who needs your emotional support. Reach out to them, because if there is a feeling of isolation and, struggle, people are struggling and are not able to make it by themselves, if you can offer your help and support, it's a good time to reach out to people. So overall, during a lunar eclipse, a full moon in Sagittarius, look within yourself and your own personal philosophy, your own personal needs. And if there is somebody around that needs your help, do give that support. But the priority is you yourself, and you should look at your own belief system and on your own needs, and do not repress it or ignore it or deny or delay anything that you feel within. So listen to your inner voice and your gut instinct and go from there. Now, if you have personal planets near this Sagittarius full moon, which is 5 degree Sagittarius, if you've got any planets near that, you will feel the effect of this lunar eclipse and the full moon more personally, even if there is a strong aspects being made by other planets, or even angles like your ascendant or your midheaven, or your IC or DC, your descendant. So look at that as well and see how it really affects you. Look at the house where Sagittarius sign is, so go from there, and you will get a little bit more a clear understanding of what is happening in that house matter during this time. And if there is something that you need to unearth, which is something that is not clear, or it seems something in the first instance but it's actually something else, so it's important to lead by your own inner voice and listen to your own feelings and emotions, so that whatever decision you take is, at least you will be satisfied that it has been taken from a point where of your own where you have been able to recognize your needs and emotional requirements, and you have taken a decision not based on external factors. So that would be a good step to move forward, to lead by your inner voice and your own emotional setup, what your own inner needs are. Now, during this Sagittarius full moon, the axis of Gemini sun also comes into play, and this is Gemini season. So we have moved from the Taurus season, which was earthy and fixed energy, to a more Gemini energy, which is mutable, it's adaptable, it's more sympathetic, and it's to do with ideas and communication and conversation as well. Now, Sagittarius is also a mutable sign, it's a mutable fire sign, so you have this good axis of learning and communicating, higher learning, your philosophies, how you see them and how you can adapt them to move forward. So this axis of Sagittarius and Gemini is a good time to really pick up skills or learn new things, to connect with people, whether it's in your environment, in your immediate surrounding, with your neighbor, or your just close ties, or with people abroad or in different cultures. Sagittarius does represent people abroad from different culture, so it's a great time to use your communication skills or whatever you have learned to connect with people from different cultures, and as a result expand your personal philosophy, your growth aspect, and when you expand your mind, you have more opportunities for growth. So it's a great time to indulge in communication and expansion of mind, and just mind and soul, by connecting with people and networking. Now, the main aspect this Sagittarius full moon is making is to Jupiter in Pisces. Now, Jupiter has just moved into Pisces on the 13th of May and will remain there until the end of July. So you have a good 1.5 month of Jupiter in Pisces energy, which is a fantastic energy. Jupiter is the traditional ruler of Pisces, so it feels at home in there, and it is able to really give its natural results, which is expansion and growth and learning. And Sagittarius is about expansion and growth. Now, Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius as well. So all this Jupiter and Pisces squaring the full moon in Sagittarius is kind of giving you an energy or feeling that anything is possible. You can do anything. Whatever your inspirations are, whatever your creative self-expression, anything that you feel artistic and very inspired to do, it's a great time to initiate and really look at that and see how you can use this energy to take that step and go on that path. So it is a square aspect at the end of the day. The full moon is squaring Jupiter in Pisces. So it has a tendency to create this fantasy or something that is far from truth and reality kind of situation. So you might believe in it and you might think this is perfect for you to grow, but you need to really look deeper into it, because sometimes a great idea may not be practical or may not work on ground level. So you need to look at the practicality of anything that you want to introduce in your life. So this square aspect can create a fantasy kind of situation. So it's very important to again lead from your inner needs and what your inner voice is, what your instinct says. So move forward with that in mind and you will be all right. It is a very philosophical, communicative time because Venus and Mercury has moved into Gemini as well in the early part of May. So during this Sagittarius full moon, they are well settled in the sign of Gemini. So there's a lot of mutable energy going on with lots of planets in mutable sign. So you will feel a little bit more freer, more flexible, moving around, and lots of changes are coming. So you need to be adaptive and be able to adapt to new changes. So keep an open mind and be optimistic and positive about whatever is coming your way, but lead from your inner voice, lead from your instinct. What is it you feel within rather than external forces? So let's move on to each zodiac sign and how this full moon in Sagittarius and the lunar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius will affect each zodiac sign. So we begin with Aries. Aries, for you, the full moon in Sagittarius occurs in your 9th house. So that activates the 9th and 3rd house axis. Now, full moon is about relationship. It's about relatability. So your 9th house and 3rd house comes into play because your 3rd house is this Gemini. Now, there's a lots of planets in the sign of Gemini during this full moon. You have the Sun, you've got the North Node in there, and also Venus and Mercury, which has just moved in the sign of Gemini in early May. So there's a lot of mutable, flexible, moving around, freeing energy going on. Now, for you, Aries, it's a time of communication and your personal philosophy. So where do you stand in terms of what is your future plan and what is your growth, what kind of growth you want for yourself? And it's a great time, and this full moon will give you sort of a better clarity and understanding. What do you expect from your life? What is it you want to do in future? So keep an open mind and be more spontaneous. Aries, you are a fire sign, so you have that already going on. You're very energetic and you are always want to create that personal identity for yourself in whatever you do. So you do lead from the front. This full moon is a kind of energy where your personal philosophy is coming into play. Now, any kind of communication, networking, interacting with other cultures, foreign cultures abroad, or even higher learning, if you're indulging, if you are getting studying something, or you want to further your education, whether it's a master's or degree or PhD, anything that you want to do to further yourself, it's a great time to look into these things, and you will have a little bit clarity in terms of what is it you want to do. So it's important to keep an open mind. The full moon does give a sense of clarity, but it's eclipsed. This full moon in Sagittarius is eclipsed. So what happens is whatever clarity you get sometimes may not be what it seems. So you need to really look deeply into what's going on. Now, the full moon in Sagittarius is squaring Jupiter in Pisces. Your Pisces sign is the 12th house. So 12th house is a house of more of a subconscious and unconscious self. It's a more of a low energy house where you kind of spend time more to recharge yourself, your energies, and it's not much of an action oriented house. Now, your ruling planet Mars, Aries, is in Cancer during this time and in your 4th house. So you are feeling a little bit less energy anyways, because Mars in Cancer for you is not particularly a happy placement, because you are all about moving forward, energy, and taking action. And Mars in Cancer is not much of action oriented. It's more about being taking the slow approach and going slowly, and it's also prone to mood swings, Mars in Cancer. So you are not, you might even get, because of the Jupiter in Pisces squaring this full moon and the Mars in Cancer, you might get a situation like you are unclear about things, or whatever you see may not be what it seems. So it may be there might be something more to it. Now where your philosophies and your ninth house things come. So look into education part. Now if you're faced with a great opportunity or scope for expansion and growth during this time, this can come your way definitely. So it's important to really look deeply into what you're getting into. So if it's a kind of education, some kind of higher education you want to get into, or you want to travel abroad for for further education, or you want to interact with other cultures, or you're getting into a kind of a relationship or business relationship or any kind of romantic relationship, if you're getting into that, it's good idea to look deeply into it and don't just take it from face value, and look really into it and find more information about it before making a decision. So Aries, overall during this full moon, the main thing that's coming into focus is your own belief system, your personal philosophies. And you will realize that what you have been believing until now, or what you see, or whatever your understanding of circumstances and things and relationship in your life is may not be enough. So you have to really think outside the box and keep an open mind, and really keep digging and finding more information and expanding your mind through that. Keep learning and knowing more things before taking a decision. It's very important you are optimistic and open-minded, and you are not just taking things at face value before you making a decision. Taurus, for you the full moon in Sagittarius occurs in your 8th house. Now full moon in 8th house will activate your 2nd house, where Gemini sits. Now 8th and 2nd house is the money axis. 8th house is your joint finances and 2nd house is your personal finances. So themes related to your money will get illuminated during this time. Now this full moon in Sagittarius is eclipsed. So what will happen is, in terms of your 8th house matters, which is your joint finances, any commitments, any obligation that you have related to money will all come in spotlight. And this eclipsed full moon will also make you acknowledge your obligations and acknowledge if there's any fear or insecurity related to your joint finances. So there is a potential as well to really trust whomever you are intimately involved with, or if you are to build that relationship and acknowledge and really see for what it is. Now at first it may not give a complete picture, but you need to dig deeper. So look at it more intensely and more deeply and find answers. Now once you have looked deeply into it and have a complete and full understanding of what you're getting into, you will realize that the loyalties that you have and the people that you trust are there to support you, and it will be kind of mutually beneficial for you. Now Taurus, this full moon in Sagittarius has this mutable energy. Now Sun is in the opposite sign to this full moon, which is in Gemini. So all this is asking you also to have a look at your financial situation, your personal finances, as well as your joint finances, both the aspects, and you can really build a relationship as a result of have a clearer, more deeper understanding of your financial situation. Now you can really deepen your inner resolve and your affection towards people you're close to. So use this full moon energy to understand what is intimately you need, and what are the requirements and expectations of other people in financial matters. So this eclipsed full moon will give you a clearer picture when you have looked more deeply into things and you understand and acknowledge what you need to do. Now this mutable energy of Gemini and Sagittarius will make you evaluate and analyze and rethink over your financial situation, and also will make you understand what is your role in your life in financial matters and in relationship to people with whom you share your finances with. Now this Sagittarius full moon is squaring the planets in the sign of Pisces, which is your 11th house. So there's Jupiter in Pisces as well as Neptune in Pisces. So what's happening is Jupiter in Pisces is expanding your social circle. So you are more enthusiastic about spending time with your friends and in your friend circle. Now your eagerness to bond and connect with people may be a kind of a distraction from your financial, what you're trying to achieve financially. So spending time outside, mingling with friends and connecting may have a sort of an effect on your finances. So you may be spending a lot, and that can in turn affect your finances. So it's very important to keep a clear mind as what is it you're trying to achieve financially. And it's good to interact with friend circle, because Jupiter is in your 11th house in Pisces, and it gives you an optimism to interact, and really eagerness to interact with your friend circle. And it is also a source of inspiration. So it's important, it's a good idea to interact, but also keep a clear mind as to what is your financial situation and where you are, so that it doesn't affect your finances and you don't, land in a crisis, financial crisis. Now, Taurus, your ruler, Venus, is in the sign of Gemini during this full moon and in your second house. So Venus in your second house, what it does is it makes you want to seek security through possessions, and that would make you end up spending money on things and buying things and purchasing things, what you desire, what you want to possess. So it's very important to understand what is it you are spending on, and if it's not impulse buying, because Venus in second house tends to make you more eager to spend money on beautiful thing and luxurious thing, because that makes you feel more secure in terms of possessing it and owning it. So you want to own and buy new, beautiful, expensive things, and that is definitely a possibility during this full moon. Also, with this axis of 8th and second house, which is the money axis, and with planets in your second house, especially your ruling planet Venus in there, all squaring this full moon, squaring the planets in your 11th house, which is your social circle, can give you a kind of a situation where you are purchasing thing and looking for material happiness due to the influence, external influence. So you're trying to maybe find your personal worth through possessions, and maybe it's a kind of trying to show off in your friend circle that you have a brand new swanky car or something like that. So that might be a theme going on. So it's important to look at your own self and realize that your personal self, your personal worth is not through your financial situation and what you own, because thinking like this can lead you in a debt and a financial crisis. So it's very important to be mindful during this full moon to not get into a financial upheaval. Now, it's an eclipse full moon, so it may not seem what it is at first, so you need to look deeper into it. So if you think you have the situation where you can purchase something new and be indulge in impulsive buying, or go out with friends and really splurge and spend, it's important to realize that owning a beautiful thing is fine, but you should not be stretching your limits. And to realize, Taurus, and money is important, but it does not contribute to your personal worth. You are not as per your financial situation. Now, 8th house, where the full moon occurs, is a mystical and transformative house. So this full moon will also really make you realize what is of true value to you, and is it to do with something external, or that happiness and satisfaction, fulfillment that you feel within. So use this energy, Taurus, to realize your sense of self-worth within yourself, and not in external material aspects of life. Gemini, for you, the full moon in Sagittarius occurs in your 7th house. Now, this activates the axis of your relationship with others and relationship with yourself. It's the me and we axis, because Sun is in the sign of Gemini in your 1st house. Now, this is a fantastic time for you, Geminis, because your ruling planet Mercury is in your 1st house as well, and you are feeling really yourself during this full moon, because there's lots of mutable energy going around, and that is your true nature, Gemini. You are a mutable sign, and so you look for change, you look for interaction, you are looking for sharing ideas and communicating, and this is a perfect time to do that. Now, when you are doing this, Geminis, it's also important to understand the relationship and the people you're interacting with, any close ties or any one-to-one interaction, whether it's romantic, business, anything that you are trying to bring in your life. So keep in mind that you can accomplish more also by interacting with others and including people, and in teamwork and working with others in partnership. Now with Mercury and Sun both in your first house, you are feeling very individualistic and your personal identity. You are feeling much more in tune with your personal identity. But what this full moon is saying is that it's also important to have a look at your relationship and your business ties, anything that you are collaborating or partnering with. So you can really get much out of a situation, whether it's romantic, business, or work situation. You can get much more out of that when you work together. Now this full moon is illuminating your 7th house. Now 7th house is to do with your marriage, your spouse, your any kind of relationship, one-to-one interaction relationship. It could be friends, family, anybody you are in close time and interacting on a one-to-one basis. So you need to see, do you feel fulfilled in these areas? Do you feel are you able to assert your needs as well and meet the expectation of the partner that you are dealing with? You also need to see that, is there anything that is lacking in a relationship? Is there anything that can be improved? So this full moon in Sagittarius in your 7th house will give you a better understanding of what is required to improve your relationship and how you can interact, how you can involve your relationship, people in your life, to get the best results. Now during this full moon, Jupiter is in the sign of Pisces in your 10th house. So again, this whole theme of interacting with people, maybe teamwork at your workplace or in your career, or whatever you're doing in life, you need to pay attention to the people you are interacting with. And this is your career matters as well. So you'll get a better understanding of how you can collaborate and use your resources and allies and any people you are connected with to improve your reputation, to improve your career, to grow your careers. All these can come into play and you will have a better understanding. Now this full moon in Sagittarius is eclipsed, so it's may not at first seem what it is. So it's important to really look deeply and lead from your inner instinct and inner voice. So listen to your gut instinct, what is it telling you, and go from there. So don't just be taken by the external forces. Don't just agree to whatever is presented to you or at face value. Don't just just believe in that. It's important to go by your gut instinct and what do you believe in, what is your inner needs. Now Jupiter entered Pisces in the beginning of May and it's in your 10th house. So it's a house of career and your reputation and your fame and what you want to achieve, your bigger goal and life ambition. So you're feeling very encouraged and motivated and optimistic about your career aspects and prospects, and you are really moving in that direction. Now this moving towards your career and taking your career higher has a bit of a individualistic touch to it, because you have planets in your first house and you're feeling that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve by yourself. But it's important to realize that being in a harmonious relationship, whether it's at your work or in your personal life or in your business, will take you further and maybe faster, and you will be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve, your goals and ambitions, in a more harmonious way when you are a little bit more in sync with people around you rather than being individualistic, a selfish point of view. So for you Geminis, overall during this full moon in Sagittarius, what you are truly feeling from within is to grow and to expand, especially in your reputation and public matters. Now you are really enthusiastic and eager to take yourself a notch up in life and really improve your career aspects. Now with the full moon in Sagittarius in your 7th house, what it's telling you is how to balance your sense of dependency, how you depend on yourself and others, how you are kind of finding a balance between yourself and others and achieving the goals and career goals and ambition that you have in life. So you're taking all this together and finding a balance between yourself and others while you achieve your career goals. And if you feel that your personal goals are not in tune with your relationship or your partnering or with other people, you will have to really find a middle ground to move forward, because that's the best way to move forward for you if you want to achieve the heights of your career and whatever you want to achieve in your life. You will have to find a middle ground. You will have to reconcile any differences in your relationship, in your work, in your home, in your personal relationship and public relationship in your workplace. So you'll have to find a middle ground and cooperate and reconcile any kind of differences that there might be in order to move forward, Geminis. Cancer, for you the Sagittarius full moon occurs in your 6th house. Now 6th house is the house of your daily duties. It's the house of your health. Now from 6th house, the 12th house axis gets eliminated because Sun is in your 12th house in the sign of Gemini. Now 6th and 12th is the house of your health and healing. So it's a house of your daily life and a time more to yourself, a retreating and rejuvenating time. So during this full moon, what's coming into focus and what's getting more clarity is your health and your daily mundane life. So what is it you are doing and what are your expectations in your daily life? What is it that you want? Now the Sun in the 12th house is making you or encouraging you to take time off to yourself and to retreat and just to recharge your batteries a little bit. And the moon and the full moon in your 6th house is making you realize and giving you a little bit clearer picture of what is it you need in your daily life in order to have that balance between your work and health aspect in your life. So are you exerting too much in your work and in your daily life, and is your health getting affected due to that? So Sun in the Gemini in your 12th house is telling you to take time off from there and to indulge in self-care a little bit and give importance to your own healing and your own health and not just be tied down to daily duties and your mundane life. Now moon is your ruling planet, Cancer. You are ruled by the moon, and moon is eclipsed during this full moon in Sagittarius. Moon generally in Sagittarius is an upbeat moon, so it gives you a upbeat energy. You may feel a little bit more spontaneous and confidence and may want to overdo things. So you may feel a bit more optimistic and more spontaneous during this time, Cancer. You also are probably looking for new experiences more than just your mundane life. Now Jupiter is in your 9th house during this full moon, and Neptune is also in your 9th house, which is your house of philosophies and higher learning and just expanding your horizon and your mind. So full moon is squaring Jupiter in your 9th house. So you may feel a bit distracted in your daily life because of the Jupiter in Pisces in your 9th house, and you may want to indulge in new experiences and try out new things and be more spontaneous. So all that is there. So the best thing to do is to use all this energy and ask for support if you need any support to move forward. Now in your daily life, if you feel a little bit unfulfilled or unsatisfied and you're not able to get the best out of it, whatever you desire, this full moon will give you a greater clarity and will make you acknowledge what is it lacking and where changes needs to be made. Now it is this full moon is a mutable full moon. It's occurring in a mutable sign, and the Sun is also in Gemini, which is a mutable sign. So it's a great time to bring about changes and adapt and be flexible about things that's not working and make changes. Now if you do need time off and you feel that you need to recharge your batteries, the Sun in Gemini 12th house is asking you to do that. And with the 9th house coming into play with Jupiter and Neptune in the 9th house, you're feeling a little bit more inspired to try out new things and to experience new things and to see things, even your daily life, in a new perspective. Now this may take you away from your daily duties a little bit because you are very eager to grow and expand and you're interested in other things during this time. But it's a good idea to do that, because that's what this the Gemini season is about, trying different things out and see what works best for you. Now, if you feel that the daily routines and just your lifestyle is overwhelming you and is not fulfilling you and is not doing anything, and you get a great understanding in these matters, it's time to bring about a change. And Jupiter in the ninth house will expand your mind and will open up you to new things and experiences. And this, as a result, may make you feel that your daily life and duties, or whatever you do, your habits, just your general life is not fulfilling, and it's kind of underwhelming, and you're not much excited about it anymore. You can use this energy to understand what is the next step for you, what are your future plans, and what are your goals in future, and you can include that in your personal life, in your daily life, and use it to expand your mind and to do something different rather than being stuck in the same thing, especially if it's not enjoyable, or it's not fulfilling you, or it's not doing anything to grow you as a person. Now, once you have looked at other possibilities, Cancers, and you understand what else can you do, you might feel that there's a need to learn something new, or to upskill yourself, and to really do some kind of course, or learn something to be able to go on that path of these new opportunities that are possibilities. So you might feel the need that you have to upskill yourself or learn something new to be able to take up those opportunities, which will lead to growth, and your future plans will be achieved, your ambitions and goals, whatever you have, to achieve that. You might need that. It's a time to learn something. So this Sagittarius and Gemini axis that we have during this full moon is asking you to expand your mind and look for more things than what you are doing on your daily basis. And if you need to upskill yourself or learn something new in order to go on that path of the possibilities, then do that. Now, if you do feel that you are a bit confused about what you want, how you want to go about, because Jupiter squaring the full moon in Pisces can lead to a bit of distraction and confusion, and you may spend time or waste time in just contemplating what should you do, what is the next step. It's a good time to really put down a plan as to what are your possibilities, what are the opportunities, what is it that really energizes you and fulfills you from within, what is it you can do on a daily basis in terms of learning something new, and have a disciplined, structured plan, and go from there, because that's how you will be able to bring about changes. There's a lot of mutable energy going on, Cancer. There is the planets in Gemini, Sagittarius and Pisces. All these planets together are giving you this chance to change whatever you are stuck in. So, and you will have a great understanding of what you want to do. Now, because the full moon is eclipse, you may be in a situation where you think everything is clear, but it may not be completely the full picture. So it's important to research and dig deeper into whatever you're trying to get involved in, whatever the opportunities that you are faced with. You need to look a little bit more deeply into it. If you're trying to learn some new course, try to really look into what you are signing up for. You don't want to waste your time, and it's very important to use this energy to be flexible. If something is not working out, or if you thought something was good for you but then you need to make changes, then do that. It's perfectly fine, because this mutable energy of all these three signs and planets in these three signs is helping you to adapt and to lead from a more of a flexible and changeable space rather than a fixed and more rigid space. So overall, Cancer, for you during this full moon, it's important to use your energies on a daily basis to understand what path do you want to take in future. Also use time to quiet hours to, you know, contemplate and reflect on, you know, what is it you want to get involved in. And if you need to upskill yourself or learn something new, it's a great time to do that. Use this time to learn something new in order to take up those opportunities in future. Leo, for you, the full moon in Sagittarius occurs in your 5th house. Now from 5th house, this 11th house axis gets activated where the sun is and the sign of Gemini sits. Now 5th and 11th house axis is the axis of your self-expression and your social expression. Now 5th and 11th axis is the axis of your personal interest and your social interest. So you are very much eager to indulge in social activities and in group activities and interact with other people, your social circle, your friend circle. But the full moon in Sagittarius is also asking you to indulge in what interests you personally, and that could be your creativity, any projects, personal projects that you have, any personal passion and interest that you have, even your children, to indulge in you know, fun activities with your children. All the 5th house matter is getting illuminated during this full moon for you Leos. Now this full moon in Sagittarius is eclipse Leo, so you might feel that you are indulging more in social activities and group activities, and you're engaging and involving yourself more in group projects and other external you know, interests. So the balance here for you Leos is to see what is more fulfilling for you. And if you are really getting over involved with group activities and social circle and ignoring your personal interest, then step away from that and do what is your own personal passions and interests, and give time, you know, spend more time in that. Now you will have a little bit more clarity in terms of what is it you want to do in terms of your own personal self-expression. How do you want to express your passions and interests or any talents or skills that you have? So it's a great time to really get involved in your personal interests, Leos. Now Sun is your ruling planet, Leos, and it's in the sign of Gemini during this full moon. So you're feeling very communicative and very light-hearted, and you want to really express yourself even in a social setup, or even, you know, externally away from your personal environment. You are really feeling very communicative, and you feel like collaborating and sharing your ideas a lot. Now Gemini is a sign of networking and communicating, and also social media and online, you know, communicating and interacting and collaborating online. So you're feeling very eager and motivated and intellectually stimulated to interact online as well. So the key thing here, Leo, is for you to find a balance between interacting more externally in social media in your group, and, you know, having the time to yourself where you can reflect and, you know, understand what is it you want to do, your own personal interests, how you want to hone it, how do you want to develop and grow from that point onwards. So it's important to find that balance. Now Jupiter is in the sign of Pisces in your 8th house, and it's squaring the full moon during this full moon in Sagittarius. Now from the 8th house, what it's doing is it might play a spoil sport in terms of your wanting to have a great time, a fun-filled time, and a more relaxed time. So you may feel a little bit challenged due to your financial commitment and your financial circumstances in order to have a good time. So you need to have a little bit more clear understanding of what is it you are trying to get involved in, and is it meeting your financial needs, and is it securing your financial needs? Are you secure in your, and are you feeling comfortable in your finances, and how you are balancing it with enjoying yourself and having a fun-filled time. Now you don't want to overindulge and end up in a financial crisis due to your spending to have fun time. So it's important to balance that out as well. Now Neptune is in the 8th house in the sign of Pisces along with Jupiter. So you may feel a bit, at times, a bit overwhelmed in your personal life and your intimate life. So it's important to get out as well and to have that fun-filled time to relax your mind a little bit and get out of that tense situation if you are in any kind of tense situation in your intimate life. So there's two aspects to it. So either you are getting overwhelmed in your personal life, intimate life, and you need to get out and interact with people outside and indulge in your personal interest, or you are using your resources in a way that you are overindulging, and that's where you need to find a balance between your personal interest and your group activities. Now Leos, what you are truly feeling during this full moon is to really put yourself out there, and really on social media or your audience, you are really very much interested in expressing whatever you're trying to express, and whatever you want to communicate, whatever your passion and interests are, you are really very much interested in putting it out there for your audience to see. You're also very much interested in your future plans and what is it you want to do in future. What are your goals and ambitions? What are your dreams? What are your hopes and wishes for future, and what are your future projects and plan, Leo? So you are definitely very much involved in these matters as well, and you are definitely making plans and putting down plans. Maybe you can have a diary or a planner where you can make plans for the future, and short-term plans and long-term plans, how you want to achieve those goals and ambition, the future, the hopes and wishes that you have regarding your life. So how you can achieve that, you can make a plan, and it's a great time to do that because it's a very mutable energy during this full moon, and it's a great time to put something down and adjust it, and make changes or be flexible about things if things are not working in future. So it's at least a good time to put things down and have a even a tentative plan, whatever you want to achieve in future. So have a short-term plan and a long-term plan regarding your goals and ambitions. Now you will be able to reach your goals and ambitions and whatever plans you have, whatever dreams you have, through collaboration and putting yourself out there on the audience to see, and to collaborate with your social group activities and other people. All of them can really help you achieve your dreams. So whatever your passions and dreams and skills you have, put it out there and let other people see, and they will be able to support you and really make you accomplish your hopes and wishes, Leos. So overall, Leos, I would say during this full moon in Sagittarius, you are very much eager to make a mark in this world, and really you're ready to put your stamp on whatever your interest is. You really are ready to put all that out there. Now it's a great time to do that and initiate that, making plans regarding that, whatever you are, your hopes and wishes for future are, and whatever your plans and goals and ambitions are. So it's a good idea to put it out there and really communicate and indulge in social activities, collaboration, online, social media, to put whatever your interest and whatever your skills, and people will see it and they will support you, and you will grow from that and will be able to reach your goals and ambitions, Leos. And if your personal life is overwhelming you or distracting you, or you're feeling it's a kind of a hindrance for you in achieving those goals and ambition, it's important to balance it out with your personal interest, and also give time to your your inner circle, and spend time with your children and at home, and indulge in fun activities and spend time with your loved ones, to find a balance in order to achieve the whatever goals you have. Because if you balance your energies personally, and you are happy within and fulfilled in your personal life, and you have had a relaxing time, then you will be really able to achieve those goals in a more fulfilling and satisfactory manner. Virgos, for you, the full moon in Sagittarius occurs in your 4th house. Now from 4th house, the 10th house is getting illuminated because the sun is in your 10th house in the sign of Gemini. Now 4th house and 10th house axis is about your inner self and your outer self. So your inner direction and your outer projection. So that's what this axis deals with. Now, finding a balance between your emotional comfort level, what your emotional self is, and how you want to appear in the public, that is required. Now, your home environment and your work life is also comes into play, and a balance between these two aspects of your life requires a balancing out. The full moon in Sagittarius in your fourth house is asking you, Virgos, to look within and to look for what is your inner personal need, what is your emotional need. And Sun in your 10th house is asking you to focus on your outer direction as well, and to present yourself and to, put yourself out there to achieve what you want to achieve. Now, your 4th and 10th house axis is fully illuminated, but this full moon in Sagittarius is eclipsed. What happens when the moon is eclipsed is it kind of gives a clarity about things, but it, at first instance, things may not be as it seems. So if you are looking at something at face value, you have to probably look a little bit deeper into it to understand what is the meaning of thing, or what is your emotional need in that area. Now, with 4th house full moon eclipsed, so what you need to look at is your emotional needs, to draw yourself within and internally, and to see what is it that needs changing. Now, it is a mutable sign. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, and Gemini is a mutable sign too, meaning if there's any changes that's required to make in your career or in your home environment, to find a balance between both is required, and you will have a more clarity in terms of bringing about any change. And this could be to do with your emotional comfort level as well, and the relationships that you're in. The full moon is asking you to depend and settle and evolve your home environment and your comfort level. And where does your security and stability lies, Virgo? The mutable energy is quite ripe during this full moon, Virgos, and you are a mutable sign yourself. So all your angles in your chart is getting activated. Your ruling planet Mercury is in 10th house along with Sun in the sign of Gemini, and you have full moon in your 4th house in Sagittarius. Now, there's also a square to this full moon with Jupiter in Pisces in your 7th house. So your whole life path is getting activated during this time, and there's an opportunity to bring about any change and balance things out. It's not serving your purpose, or your growth is getting restricted because of either work environment or emotional comfort level or your relationship. So there's an opportunity to realize, acknowledge, and adjust anything that you might need to adjust to fulfill your ambition and to, for your personal growth. Now, Jupiter has moved in the sign of Pisces in an early May, and in your 7th house, it's activating that house of partnership. So what you are being asked to do is to engage in partnership, and that could be personal or business. And this could be to improve your relationship, and that could be work relationship, personal relationship, all that. So that's what Jupiter is asking you, and wherever Jupiter goes, it amplifies and really expands that house. So you have this great opportunity, a very lucky opportunity to make some changes, improvement in that area. Now, some of you Virgos may be getting married during this time as well, so there's a great opportunity to build those strong and more engaging relationship with people you interact. And it's all relationship, it's not just romantic relationship. It could be in any personal any one-to-one interaction that you have with people in your surrounding. All that relationship is coming into focus, and you have this opportunity to improve that. So Virgos, during this full moon in Sagittarius and during this Gemini season as a whole, you're really choosing your purpose in life. What is it that you really want to be remembered for? What is it that you really want to achieve in terms of vocation and calling in life? And that's where your energies are going. Now, your ruler Mercury is in your 10th house during this full moon in Sagittarius for you Virgos. So you are very communicative, very expressive, and you really are putting your best foot forward and really projecting yourself in the best way to achieve your career goals. You're really using your communication skills to improve your chances to move forward in terms of your career, because Mercury is at home in Gemini and it is your ruling planet. So there's a lot of communication and networking happening in your career to improve your career chances and your goals and ambitions. You're also interacting with authority figures and really putting your best foot forward to achieve what you want to achieve. This full moon is giving you the opportunity to really understand what your emotional need is, and also to find a meaningful, purposeful career or calling in life, and to be ambitious but with a meaning to it. And any interaction that you're getting involved with and any people or encounters that you're having during this time is going to really help you and support you to grow and achieve the ambitions that you have in terms of your career. If you think there's any need to make any adjustment or changes, or if there's anything that is not serving you anymore in terms of your personal growth, there's an opportunity to change and be flexible about it. There's a lot of mutable energy going on, so there is definitely an opportunity to make changes and to go in the direction that is fulfilling for you and is growing you and developing you for the future. So overall, Virgos, for you during this Sagittarius full moon is to find a balance between your 4th house and your 10th house, which is your home environment and your work. And if you feel there's anything that is not serving you or needs changing or adjusting, you will have better understanding and more clearer understanding of what needs to be changed. And if you do feel kind of sort of distracted or confused regarding your relationship and partnership, and if you think that you do not understand your emotional makeup yet on a deeper level, this full moon will give you the opportunity to understand that. And it's a good idea to dig a little bit deeper to understand your own emotional self and listen to your instinct when you're making decisions regarding your home environment, your career, and any partnership or collaboration or any kind of business partnership you're getting into. It's a good idea to look a bit deeper and really understand your own personal needs. What is your emotional needs, so that you can assert those needs and be able to fulfill the other relationships you have in life and the demands and expectation of your job and career. Libra, for you, the full moon in Sagittarius occurs in your 3rd house. Now, the 3rd house is the house of expression. It's a house of communication. It's a house of your perception, opinion, also sharing ideas and information. It's a house of your surrounding and your intermediate, your neighborhood. Now, 9th house is where the sun is in Gemini, and that's where the Venus, which is your ruling planet, is also located during this full moon. Mercury is also in your 9th house in the sign of Gemini, conjuncting your ruling planet Venus. So you are feeling very much enthusiastic about your philosophies, and you're feeling very much enthusiastic and eager to expand your horizon, even something to do with traveling or interacting with cultures, different cultures and people from abroad. You're very much enthusiastic about that. So with this 3rd and 9th house axis, Libra, you're very much interested in interacting with people who are have the same mindset as you and are more on the same page as you. People who are like-minded, and this could be from different cultures and abroad as well, and this could be done through social media and online, so you can interact through forums or social media or online blogs. You can do that, and this will really expand your mind, Libras, and that's a great opportunity to do that. This full moon is really giving you that opportunity to communicate, because Gemini and Sagittarius is an axis of sharing ideas and learning and expanding your mind through that. So it's a great opportunity to do that. Now, this full moon is in a square aspect to Jupiter in the sign of Pisces, which is in your 6th house. So you might feel a bit of a distraction or confusion in terms of your mundane life and your philosophies. What you are doing on a daily basis may not fulfill or interest you much, because you're trying to expand your mind and you're trying to expand your horizon. You're trying to look at other things and bigger things, and try to look at other perspectives in life and not just what you're doing on a daily basis. So you're very much interested in bigger things and bigger goals during this time, and it's a great time to do that. Now, finding a balance between all this is definitely required. You may feel a bit restricted by your daily duties, your work, the job you're in, and anything that you're doing on a daily basis, your mundane life. You may feel that you're getting a sort of you may get a feeling that you may feel limited by that, but there's an opportunity to engage in the third house and ninth house matter, and which is expanding your mind and looking at what other things that can be achieved in future, Libras. Now, Jupiter in your sixth house is making you a little bit more interested in other things you can do in your daily life besides what you already do. And the full moon in your third house with the ninth house axis is also making you think about other things rather than just what you're doing. So you may come up with opportunities due to your communication and interaction with other people, that something in your daily life may change because of that. Now, this change could be a change in job because you gave an interview or applied for another job. So this could be a change in that as well, because third house is the house of giving interviews and interacting and networking with people, and sixth house is your job of work environment. So there could be a change in that or some kind of movement in that area. So all that can be expected if that's what you're aiming at. Or it could be just a change in routine. Maybe you have changed your work hours. You were in a full-time role, now you're moving to a part-time role. Anything of that sort can happen in your just your work life. Health is another matter that comes into focus during this time. So you may be looking at a different kind of some change in health regime, or your eating habits, or how your exercise routine and all that. So you could be looking at some kind of tweak or some kind of even slight changes in these areas. Now, Venus, your ruling planet, is in ninth house in the sign of Gemini during this full moon. So interacting with foreign cultures and people from foreign land or far off land is very attractive to you during this time. And these are the people that is opening up your mind to other things. You're very much interested in self-promotion as well, and public interaction and building a public image and public relationship during this time. So all this is very much supported and helped by this full moon energy, and and plenty of Gemini energy that's occurring in the ninth house during this Gemini season. So there is an opportunity for you to expand and go for bigger opportunities and future projects, and future whatever your future looks like, future direction looks like, can be initiated during this full moon, because you get a better clarity in terms of how you want to go in that direction. So this full moon in Sagittarius is eclipsed, Libras, and this is the first lunar eclipse of 2021. So what happens when a full moon is eclipsed is it shakes things up wherever it sits. So it's shaking your third house matter, and which is your viewpoint, Libras. So any old thinking or old perception or opinions that you have, that will get shaken up during this full moon. You will be required to step outside your box and open your mind to other ideas and whatever perception and perspective that is available. You will be required to really expand your mind. Now, Libra, you are an air sign, and by nature you're already quite interested in expanding your horizon, and especially your mental horizon, and you're really interested in thoughts and opinions and communication and really understanding other perspective and larger perspective. So it really sits well with you, Sagittarius and Gemini full moon axis. It really sits well with Libras, because Libra, being an air sign, you do go well with Gemini, which is another air sign, and Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. So the energy is quite complementary, and you can use this energy to really open yourself up to new things, open yourself to new way of communicating or new way of understanding things. And if you do need to expand your mind through learning new things and understanding and get a better understanding through education, then it's a great opportunity to do that, Libras. So Libras, overall, during this full moon in Sagittarius, you are definitely very much interested in expanding your mind and your horizon, and you are trying to communicate more effectively in order to have those future opportunities. Now, your daily mundane life may not interest you as much, so there's an opportunity to make changes, and you might make even slight changes. Even if it's not a drastic change, you might make small changes to adjust your what your future plans are. So if you are in a job scenario that is taking up most of your time and you're not able to give time to other things, this is a great opportunity to maybe reduce your hours or go in a job situation where you have more free time to pursue greater philosophies and indulge in maybe learning or educating yourself to seek these great opportunities in life in future. So do acknowledge the skills that you have currently and use it to grow and to expand your horizon as you work towards your goals and ambitions, Libra. Scorpios, for you, the full moon in Sagittarius occurs in your second house. Now, from second house, the 8th house axis is illuminated because Sun is in the sign of Gemini in your 8th house. Now, second and 8th house is the money axis. It's your personal wealth and your joint wealth. So full moon in the second house is giving you the opportunity to form a beneficial partnership and working relationship, any kind of relationship, to build on those relationships that is mutually beneficial and is gainful for both the sides, both the parties. So that's what the second house and 8th house axis is. Now, this full moon in Sagittarius is eclipsed. So the eclipse falls in your second house, which is the house of your salary, your personal income, the income that you earn by your own ability and your own money-making capabilities as well. Your ability to accumulate a wealth by yourself. That's what is getting illuminated during this time. Now, your financial situation is definitely on your mind, Scorpios, and it does take priority during this time. But with Jupiter in Pisces in your 5th house, it's also a great opportunity to enjoy life and, indulge in fun-filled activities with your loved ones and your children, or even indulge in personal interest that is, that you find enjoyable and delightful in engaging in. So though financial matter will be definitely at the top of your mind, but it's a very good idea to indulge in personal interests too. Now, you may feel a bit conflicted as well where your finances are concerned, so you are definitely thinking about how to build up your finances and how to have in a situation where you feel more secure and how you can sustain yourself going forward. So you are definitely thinking all this thing, and working together in partnership, in relationship with other people in your life will be really beneficial, mutually beneficial, if you are really understanding what's going on. Also, if you think there is some kind of changes that need to be made in these areas, there's a good opportunity to adjust or change or rethink over what is going on and how you can improve the situation, your financial situation. Now, Scorpios, if you're faced with any kind of issues or anything that's troubling you in your finances or in your relationship, it's a good time to give it a thought and improve these matters. It's important to turn your focus and your attention to these matters in order to improve them. Now, Scorpio, second house is also the house of your value system. So it's also important to look at your own personal worth and your own sense of personal worth. Now, you have skills and you have talents and interests, Scorpios, and it's important to prioritize those as well. And that's where your sense of balance will come, when you're able to acknowledge your contribution and the contribution of other people as well, and find a balance between all these themes. Now, do believe in yourself, Scorpios, and believe in your competency and the hard work that you have put over the years in whatever you're doing, the job you're doing. And all this will result in reward in due course, Scorpios, and you will get financial compensation or a bonus or a salary rise going forward. The first step is to believe in yourself and to project yourself in a way that you feel confidence within yourself. Now, Scorpios, your ruling planet Pluto is in your third house, which is the house of communication and your, how you express yourself. So you are feeling very energized and eager to communicate, and your communication comes from a place of depth, and you are very, very well researched and very knowledgeable, and that's how your communication becomes very effective and inspiring to other people. So what this full moon is telling you, Scorpio, is that material thing is great to achieve, and it's good, it's great for security and stability. But what is truly important is your own inner self, is your own sense of self-worth. What is it you value within yourself, and to acknowledge your contribution and the skills that you have, and be confident and proud about what you have contributed already in your life. So Scorpios, don't undervalue yourself and do believe in yourself. Have faith in your own self. And 8th house is the house of transformation as well, and 8th house is a natural Scorpio house. That's where the sun is during this full moon, and it will give you the opportunity to regenerate yourself, transform yourself, and find that value within yourself, the confidence within yourself, and not just put your sense of value in material things and financial things, because your personal worth is not as a result of your financial standing, Scorpio. Sagittarius, for you, the full moon in Sagittarius occurs in your first house. Now, first house is the house of self, and from there your 7th house is getting eliminated because the sun is in your 7th house in the sign of Gemini. Now, along with sun in Gemini, there is also Mercury and Venus in the 7th house. So there's a lot of 7th house theme happening in your life currently during the Gemini season. But this full moon in your first house is asking you to focus a little bit more on your own personal need and your own goals and life direction. What is it that you want from yourself? And that's where the focus should more be during this full moon in Sagittarius. Now, this full moon is eclipsed Sagittarius. So this is the first lunar eclipse of 2021, and it occurs in your sign, in your first house. So it's very important for you, this lunar eclipse. Now, it is asking you to change or adjust anything in your life and in your philosophy and your own personal direction that you think is not serving you anymore. So if there is any hindrances or obstacles or opposition coming, even from your partnership, it's a good idea to balance both the energies. So what is it you want from your life for yourself and the partnership that you have in your life? So this is definitely a time to put down your plans for yourself. How do you see yourself growing, and how do you see yourself moving and developing, and whichever direction you want to take your life in. Now, during this full moon, Jupiter is in the sign of Pisces in your 4th house, and from there it's squaring the full moon. So the 4th house element, which is your home environment, comes into play. Now, what's happening is to achieve your personal goals and ambition and your own life direction, to achieve and establish a personal identity for yourself, you may have some kind of distractions or issues arising from your home environment. Now, you may have to focus on refocus your energies on the home environment during this time. The family members may ask for your attention towards them. They may have expectations during this time. So your personal agenda and personal, whatever you want to achieve during this time for yourself may get hindered a little bit. But the key thing is to balance all these energies out. So yourself, your home, and your partnership, all these needs to be balanced in order to move forward, Sagittarius. Now Jupiter is your ruling planet, Sagittarius, and it's in your 4th house. So there's also an opportunity to expand your home environment, and this could be just making tweaks here and there to improve your home environment and make it more appealing to you, or if there's some kind of energy that is not serving you, maybe adjust it so it feels more like a sanctuary for you, and somewhere you can think and work on yourself with, and because there's a focus on yourself, and it's a time for you to look at yourself as well. What are your ambitions and how you want to move forward? So creating a home environment which is conducive to that would be particularly very good for you. Now you will have the opportunity to take up any personal projects during this time, Sagittarius, and because the full moon is occurring on your angle, and including Jupiter being on your angle in your 4th house, it's a really important time for you, and you could really get greater clarity in terms of where you want to take your life in future. So do use this time, make some plans, chalk down plans, write it down in a diary, or have a routine, a planner where you can really discipline yourself and structure yourself how you want to move forward in terms of your goals and ambitions. And any hindrances or obstacles coming your way in terms of expectations of other people in your life and other relationships in your life, you can really work on those by refocusing your energies and allocating time to accommodate all aspects of your life. So do take time out to plan your future and what you want to do in this 2021 and going forward. And if you think there is people in your life or relationship that is not supporting you or is not helping you out in this growth, in your personal growth, then it's a good idea to sit down and reconcile any kind of differences. And in turn, you will be helped in future due to this sorting out of whatever issues that you have in life. So take this time really to balance out energies in your life. So overall, Sagittarius, I would say during this full moon, your own self is fully illuminated. Your sense of direction, your personal direction, your sense of personal identity comes into play. And that is where you are trying to understand yourself and trying to make changes and adjustments to move forward for the sake of personal growth and your future self. Now the best way forward is to find a balance with your home and your partnership and relationships that you have in life, because if you don't iron these things out early on and find a middle ground and settle any issues that might be, then in future you can have some hindrances, obstacles due to these relationships. So it's important to really sit down and plan it out, include your relationship, your partnership and family members, get them involved in what your plans are, how do you see yourself in future, and they will be excited to see what your future prospects are if you are able to channel your energy in such a way that it's more constructive and more in a more understanding and more for everyone. And this is how you can really move forward for your future and your own personal growth, Sagittarius. Capricorns, for you the full moon in Sagittarius occurs in your 12th house. So the 6th house axis gets activated because Sun is in the sign of Gemini in your 6th house. Now 12th house is the house of your old patterns. It's the house of your subconscious. It's a house of where you want to seek retreat and recharge your batteries and really find quiet hours to introspect. That's what 12th house is about. Now 6th house is your daily routine, your work and your health house. So the full moon in your 12th house is asking you to really surrender and acknowledge what your past patterns or the mysteries of in life you have and in relationship. If there is anything that needs fixing, if there's any old patterns emerging that you're uncomfortable with, it's time to focus your energy, your emotional self, to kind of try to reconcile it. and not to have an escapist mindset that you want to get away from it and not resolve whatever is lying beneath and is difficult to take in and difficult to understand. It's important to face your fear and really deal and try to sort out the issues if there are any issues. And once you do this, Capricorn, you will have a sense of freedom and a peace in mind that something that was underlying, that something that was disturbing you for maybe of some time now is getting resolved, and you have put your effort in communicating and trying to resolve all this thing. Now Jupiter is in the sign of Pisces, which is squaring the full moon, and it's in your third house. Now you may try to indulge in communication with the idea to overcome any kind of past patterns or any difficult relationship that you have in your life. But because it's a square aspect, you may feel that all the effort that you have put in has gone unacknowledged, and the effort that you have put in understanding and trying to deal with the situation that you have in life or any difficult circumstance or relationship in life, you have made an effort from your side to reconcile it and make it better and to move on, but these efforts may go unacknowledged. You may try to assert your emotional need and how you feel emotionally, but things may still remain unresolved because of people's ulterior motive and other agendas. Now your ruling planet Saturn is in a retrograde motion, Capricorn, so it's important to acknowledge your own emotional needs as well. So if you feel that you have made an effort to improve relationship or to correct past patterns and it has not gone the way you would like, or has not been fruitful in the way it should, and it has not sorted the issues out in your lives or any past patterns that you have, or it has not led to any kind of healing in your life, then it's a very important, Capricorn, to keep your focus on your own emotional need. What is it you feel right? You have to honor yourself, Capricorn. Don't let other people's pressure you into doing things that you're uncomfortable with. Keep your personal emotional self in focus, and that's where it's most important for you, Capricorn. You are a very emotional sign, though Capricorn do not show their emotions publicly, but they are a very emotional sign. They keep it all within, and it does affect them if things are left unresolved, and it does really bother them. So it's very important to see what is within, what is your own needs, Capricorn, and go from there. Now Capricorn, within yourself during this full moon, it's important to get past your self-limiting beliefs. Anything that is restricting you, that is stopping you from your own personal growth, it's important to let those energies go. Now this full moon is going to give you more clarity regarding these matters, so it's important to take this information and rethink what is it you want for yourself and move forward from there. So let yourself go of any kind of limiting and negative thinking, Capricorn, and do create boundaries around you if that's what is required to safeguard your own personal space, your own emotional needs, your own emotional comfort level, and your own sanity. If that's what is required, so do that. That's what you need to do. Don't get too much affected by what other people need from you, or what other people's expectation of you are, especially if it's making you uncomfortable. So focus on your own well-being and your own healing, Capricorn. Now during this full moon, your 6th house is also illuminated because Sun is there along with Venus and Mercury. So your work, your daily habits, your health factor, all these comes into play, and there's an opportunity to to readjust things to improve your circumstances here. If there's anything that you feel is not serving you, whether it's in terms of your job or your health, there's an opportunity to make changes in these areas, and to find a balance for you Capricorns, from your 6th house and your 12th house. So your health and healing aspect comes into play. Now the full moon is squaring the Jupiter in 3rd house. So any kind of close ties, interaction with the close ties in your life may lead to some kind of discord or some kind of discomfort. So lead from your inner voice. What is it your inner needs are? What is it your inner self is telling you? Lead from there, and you will be on the path to health and healing. So overall Capricorn, this full moon in Sagittarius in your 12th house is telling you to focus on your own mind, body and soul. Now if there are any past patterns that's limiting and that is not getting resolved, don't get pushed into a situation externally that is making you uncomfortable. So focus on your own inner self, Capricorn, and lead from there. It's very important for you to keep your own well-being in mind, Capricorn. And if you're not happy with a situation, then there is no need going that path. So whether it's your daily duties, your health, whether it's relationship with your close ties, or whether it's any kind of past pattern or things that you're uncomfortable with, if it's not leading to healing and transformation, then there is no need to go out of your way to adjust negative influences in your life, especially that is hindering your growth and is obstacle in your life. So do focus on your own well-being, Capricorn. Aquarius, for you the full moon in Sagittarius occurs in your 11th house, and that activates the axis of 11th and 5th house because Sun is in the sign of Gemini in your 5th house. So that's the 11th house stands for your social circle. It's the house of group activities, future projects, and your hopes and wishes. Now 5th house is to do with your self-expression, your creativity, your personal interest, and your artistic self, and also your children. So the full moon in your 11th house is asking you to look into opportunities, how you can collaborate and indulge in group activities and come together in a social circle or social environment to produce great work for yourself and to be part of something bigger than just yourself. Now Sun is in the 5th house, that is opposite your 11th house. So it is also encouraging you to take up passions that are personal to you, any personal interest that you have, to take those things up. It's motivating you to do that. So that's where your 11th and 5th house aspect comes into play. So the most important thing required during a full moon is to find a balance between the opposing energies. So how do you balance your personal interest and your passions, solo passions that you have, and to present it in a social environment and a more of a collaborative group environment, and work together to find a solution and look at the bigger picture and look at a common cause. It's also important to not lose your own personal value while you are engaging in group activities. So that's where the balance is required, Aquarius. Now this full moon in Sagittarius is squaring Jupiter in Pisces, which is in your 2nd house. Now this square aspect can possibly give you a sort of confusion and distractions from what you're trying to achieve and what is your goal. So it might have this, you might feel overwhelmed with this aspect. Now 2nd house is to do with your income, is to do with your how you earn your living, your daily wages, and it's also your sense of value, how you worth yourself, what is your personal value, how do you see yourself. That's what 2nd house is about. Now indulging in the group activities and finding a balance with your own personal interest might lead to a conflict in terms of how you're earning your wages, how you're earning your income, and how you see yourself in greater scheme of things. What is your self identity? What is your sense of self-worth? So this axis of 11th and 5th house and communicating with your second house can give you a sense of going for things that you might think is going to reap you great financial reward, even at the cost of losing your own sense of self and your own sense of value. So be mindful of that you're not over promising yourself and losing your own value for the sake of greater paycheck. Now this full moon in Sagittarius in your 11th house is eclipsed. So when the moon is eclipsed, what it does is that it does not give a full picture. So you may see something at face value, but there might be something going underneath that you cannot see. So it's important to really look deeper into what you're getting involved. And if it's a collaboration or group projects that you want to get involved, it's important to see that you are able to express your own needs as well before signing on the dotted line. Now don't be led by financial gain and the compensation that you will receive through this project, because if you don't look deeply into what you're signing up, you may lose your sense of self and your value. So you may get involved in a group which you at first it might seem really a good idea, but you may regret it later on. So it's very important to really look deeply into what is going on before you take up the cause. Now Aquarius, your modern ruling planet is Uranus, which is in the sign of Taurus and in your 4th house. And your traditional planet is Saturn, which is retrograde in your 1st house. So due to this retrograde Saturn in your 1st house, you may feel a sense of a bit unpredictability and chaotic in your sense of personal direction. So do be a little bit flexible in terms of what you are trying to achieve, and don't be too rigid, and be more structured and more practical in terms of what is you are trying to sign up, and be more realistic about it. Now Uranus is in your 4th house, in the house of your home environment. So you may be looking at things to change around and maybe upgrade something in your home environment to find a sense of self, for your own space in the house to express yourself. Or if you're working something on social media, or you have an audience online, then you might be creating some space in your house to feel a little bit more comfortable and to present yourself differently. Now due to the square of Saturn and Uranus during this time, you may feel a sense of disturbances or sudden changes in your home environment, and just your emotional makeup, just your comfort level. You may feel there's some kind of disruptions or changes that was not expected as coming about in your life. So it's important to keep a balance and channel your energy constructively, and keep all the sides of your life, all the aspects of your life in such a way that you're not overwhelmed or hindered in terms of your growth and your personal development. So balance your home environment and what you're trying to achieve for your own self, for your own personal identity and your personal growth and your life path. So overall for you Aquarius, during this full moon, you are really looking to step outside your comfort zone and express yourself and interact with group to achieve whatever you want to achieve, and to work for a common cause. If you're really inspired and you have something to offer for the greater good, it's a great time to initiate that in terms of group activities, and to make sure that you are expressing your own needs as well, and you're expressing your own personal interest and passion, and what your life direction is, what is your opinion, what's your perspective. You are you are expressing those as well. Now interacting with social groups and friend circle will definitely help you, support you in growing, and whatever personal direction that you're seeking, you will get all that help and support, and it's a great time to do that. Now be mindful not to be led by personal financial gains, because that can make you go in a direction and sign up to things that may not serve you and may not be beneficial for you in the long run. So do make plans, and like short-term plans in terms of what you want to achieve in future, and sign up to things or causes or organization or club, whichever you want to associate yourself with, seeing in mind that you are have expressed yourself and you have been heard, your personal interest has been looked into, and you have asserted your personal emotional needs before signing up for anything. And do not consider your personal worth as a result of your financial gains in these matters. Pisces, for you, the full moon in Sagittarius occurs in your 10th house. Now from 10th house, the 4th house axis gets activated because Sun is in Gemini in your 4th house. Now 10th house is the house of your image. It's the house of your public image, your career, your vocation, how you seek praise, and what your ambitions and life direction is. Now, 4th house is the house of your family, your home environment, and your own emotional comfort level, where you find your own sense of security and stability and emotional comfort. Now, full moon in your 10th house is bringing your focus on your image, on your public image, on your reputation, on your career and your ambitions. It's asking you to focus on what brings you praise and what brings you recognition. That's what the full moon is asking you. Now the Sun is on the other side in your 4th house. Now along with the Sun in Gemini, you also got Venus and Mercury in the same sign. Now what Sun is doing here is asking you to find a sense of your own self, find a sense of your emotional self where you feel comfortable. It's asking you to address and deal with your emotional self, your feelings, your foundation, your family members, and your home environment. Now this full moon in your 10th house is squaring Jupiter in Pisces, which is in your 1st house. Now the square aspect is a tense aspect, and so this can bring up themes related to your body image and your presence, how you present yourself, and how you project yourself in the public environment. And this aspect can feel a bit overwhelming, confusing, and even distracting from what you're trying to achieve. Now Jupiter in Pisces in your 1st house does give you a need for growth, even spiritual growth, personal growth, and to really establish yourself in terms of your personal direction. Now this square aspect is basically asking you, Pisces, to assert your own self in order to achieve your career goals. So project yourself, present yourself in a way that helps you gain that praise on the ambition that you have in life, and to gain that reputation in the eyes of the authority figure and in the public life. So you need to assert yourself, your personal lead, your emotional lead, and whatever your personal agenda is, you need to assert it in such a way and present yourself and project yourself in a way that you're able to achieve your ambition, and thus building up on your reputation, your public reputation. Now this square aspect sometimes can also lead to a feeling of dissatisfaction in terms of where you're heading and what is your public reputation, how you come across externally and to the to the public, to the world. You may have a sense of dissatisfaction or even a sense of confusion regarding that. What is it you're trying to achieve? And Pisces by nature, you're not much interested in material aspect of life. You are more interested in spiritual growth and knowledge-based growth and learning. So the full moon in Sagittarius is really at odds with your own true nature. So you may feel that your ambition, your career is not going the way you want it to go, and the achievements that you are aspiring for, it's you're not able to achieve that due to this clash in your image and what you inherently believe. Now Pisces, Neptune is in your first house along with Jupiter. So the planets in Pisces is in square aspect. So you may have this sense of confusion and blurriness about it, as well as in where you want to go, where you want to see. And you may also feel that the energies that you're putting in is not resulting in what you want to achieve during this full moon in Sagittarius. But as we move into the next Cancer season, the planets will be more in tune with your sign Pisces, so you will see things moving then. Now with planets in your fourth house, Pisces, you're also trying to find a balance between your work and your home environment. You are looking for, or you are definitely motivated and eager to find a home environment which is more idyllic for you, where you can feel more comfortable and relaxed, and also trying to balance that with a sense of purpose in life and ambition and whatever your goals are. So you're trying to balance your home environment and the comfort and emotional comfort that you feel in your home and with your family members, and try to create a comfortable environment there, and also trying to balance it out with your public image, how other people see you, and what is your meaning, what is the purpose of your life, what is your ambition, what are your future plans, how you see yourself in future. So you're trying to balance these energies out. Now the full moon illuminates wherever it sits, so it gives you more clarity in terms of what to expect and how you can bring about changes in it and adjust and re-strategize to achieve whatever you want to achieve in future. So it's a great time for you Pisces to think, what are the things that's not serving you in your career and also in your home environment, and how you can adjust and change things that can really be more conducive to what you feel emotionally inside, and how you identify yourself with, and what is your ambition in, what is it, how you want to move forward in life for the sake of your own personal growth and your own development and your own spiritual growth as well. Thank you for watching my full moon in Sagittarius video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you can use the information and the knowledge given here in your personal life to understand and to use the energy of this full moon and the lunar eclipse, which is quite intense, but there is a great opportunity for personal and spiritual growth. Thank you very much, and please do like my videos and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.